What's up, brothers and sisters? It's your brother G World 7_D. I have this book by G.J. Campbell Dunn. It's called The African Origins of Classical Civilization. All right, and they're mainly talking about the black civilization, original Greeks, Romans, the Etruscans, predated the Romans, were nothing but Negroes. All right, but I'm gonna do a quick spin on something I want you to pick up on. All right, or have you to get you to decide to pick up on it. I'm going to turn to page 80 and 81. I'm going to show you something real quick. All right, right here. This book is written by a white dude in New Zealand. He's based in New Zealand. Now, here it is. Manoa is an African, if you can see it clear. Manoa is an African fertility goddess and witch. All right. Right here. Let me go back and see it clear right here. Manoa is an African fertility goddess and witch. Now, the extensive Minoan Empire, we think, was unified by religion, worship of the African snake goddess Manoa, and trade, especially in wine, not politics. All right? A king or emperor at this time is unlikely. Society was tribal. The rulers were petty chieftains and divine child king Wankanites, who were not permitted to grow up. But trading contacts were extensive and far-flung. They were maintained by the sea-going ships of the Red Men of Crete and their carrion associates, who, according to Herodotus, owed tribute to no man. Eventually, however, they were enslaved and ultimately became galley slaves. Perhaps the black man depicted in The Captain of the Blacks, Frisco, is evidence of this. Black subordinates under a red commander. Now, all these people are Negroes, man. And the images he's talking about where you see the brothers and sisters on boats and you see some of them and they're sailing in the boats, and the one guy who's standing up has a big afro. Well, all of them sitting down has a big afro, but you can really see the brother with the big afro. But my emphasis is right here is the fact that, first of all, like I said, all of them were Negroes. A lot of the Negroes put like their red orchard on their skin, had their skin look reddish. So some of our people had this like reddish brown hue. But I mentioned before is that you had an image of a Minoan snake goddess in Alberta, Canada. There's a carving, an ancient old carving of obviously a female and some Olmec heads around her. This is an image of what you call the Minoan snake goddess over in Alberta, Canada. And this is so damn old, man. This is obviously in the book I read before by Dr. Suzar, where it said that the blacks were able to, they had a high technology of carving into rocks. I talked about them. I had a book showing you what the Mali was doing there, and compare that to the Anasazi, where there was a great carving of rocks in Alberta, Canada, showing large Olmec heads as well as a Minoan snake goddess. Not only the Minoans was over in the east, but they was over here in the west in Canada. There was always like duplicates societies all over the globe. Just like you had Maya over in Asia, you had Maya coming to Egypt. There's like a tomb dedicated to Maya's arrival coming to Egypt, and you had Maya here in Americas. There was always a damn connection. We always connected and traveled around the world. And we sprinkle and we fertilize that technology and spread that technology globally. So we weren't just situated in some damn Africa, in West Africa, it was some tribe, and it was captured slaves and brought here like some of you Negroes trying to continue to preach. That's wrong. I talked about there's an image of a snake goddess carved into rock in Canada. The information's there. But archaeologists have ignored that and just basically allow it's deteriorating. When you look at it, you see nothing but big, large carvings and one of them is of a female, as obviously she was a ruler in power and is the image of a snake goddess, black woman. But these anthropologists and archaeologists ignore this, man. They ignore this. Like I said, with your history, it's sort of like a jigsaw puzzle. It's a puzzle. You need to put the pieces together. Our information's there, but you got to want to research it. When you hear these Negroes continue to tell you that you come from some West African slaves, man, tell them to go to hell. Because they don't know what the hell they talking about. They don't know what the hell they talking about. The pyramid builders in America have a connection to the pyramid builders over in Egypt. So when I hear Negroes say, well, black Americans, they had no connection to the pyramids in Egypt, that's a goddamn lie, because the builders in Americas took that technology over to East Africa and built, because the technology is older here in South America. There's so much artifacts, but it's been ignored. All right, brothers and sisters, this is your brother G World, man. I just took this out of Graham G.J.K. Campbell Dunn. He talks about the, quote, African origins. I don't use the term African, because not all black people are African, but I know, but the main thing, he talking about black people ruled all of Europe, and here's the back of the book, you know, and you see many different areas where he has little black faces saying the black people were the original people of all these different lands. They took that technology and spread, but not only in so-called Africa and into Europe, but to Asia, the Pacific Islands, and here to the Americas, all right? And here to the Americas. But the only goofy thing is that, like, when you look over in Asia now, you have all those little mulattoes there, all right? They had no identification or identity to the original people there, but they continue to spread the culture. They continue to run around the culture, and a lot of them hate black people, but they're nothing but mulattoes, just like the mulattoes in North Africa, and just like those mulattoes in Latin America. The original people in all so-called Latin America were Negroes, man. All of them. Machu Picchu, that's Negro stuff. All that was originally by black people. All right, all that originally was black people. So I want you to understand that there was always a connection globally. Always a connection globally. Because we traveled around the world and we took that technology and we spread that seed globally. So any dumb Negro who want to tell you that you're descendant of West African slaves, they're only regurgitating what their stupid, ignorant white teacher, racist white teacher, or the ignorant Negro teacher taught them in school. Or some other non-black taught them in school. All you gotta do to research and realize that so-called black people are the original people on this damn planet. White folks come from black people. They come from an albinoid black person. That's where they come from, albinoid black people. They're not indigenous to nothing. They cannot be indigenous to warm climate because they will not survive. Their skin will burn. You have to understand that. Like I said, any Negro who's continued to teach you that you descended from West African slaves and, quote, African Americans, you need to stop calling yourself that, are descendants from Nigerians, that's a goddamn lie. You hear me? You are descendants of Aboriginal black people who were here. Learn your true damn history. Learn it. Do not listen to these little fly-by-night YouTube coons, because that's what most of them are. Peace and love, brothers and sisters.